guys, welcome back to the Asher and Gad channel. It's good to have you, good to see you again. We just decided to bring you another video that we promised in our last video. In fact, this is a video in two parts, and the title of this video is Buying Our Land Part 1. Yes, it's been an exciting journey, we must say. If you remember our last video, we talked about how we designed our home and how we used maramani.com to pick our house design and modify it from then. Then the next challenge was we needed somewhere to place the design. Where are we going to build? How do you buy a land? So we started asking a few friends and some colleagues of mine, and we found out of a website in Ghana called mekasa.com. Coming up on your screen now, www.mekasa.com, mekasa.com, and on that website you can see across your screen now, you can find out many different types of lands in Ghana, anywhere in Ghana, in Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, wherever you want to live, of different sizes. You know, the typical size of a plot of land in Ghana is 70 feet by 100 feet, and I know that we wanted 2 plots.
Yeah.
You wanted 2 plots, didn't you?
I actually wanted more.
Oh my God, she's so greedy, man.
I'm not.
Why did you want more than 1 plot?
I want to farm.
She wants to farm.
Yeah.
Completely self-sustainable. Yeah. So we know we wanted 2 plots, but obviously there's always the affordability factor.
Yeah.
You know, because money isn't limitless. So we needed to have a look around the various areas. Now, focusing on Accra. Accra can be quite expensive depending on where you look at. There are areas like East Legon or Cantonment and Airport Residential area, which are ridiculously expensive. You know, ridiculously expensive. Really, really, really. I mean, what was your thoughts that were going through your mind when you were initially looking for a land and where you wanted it to be in relation to, you know, Accra or Kumasi or even anywhere? What were you thinking of?
Right. So I wanted to stay out of the city. Like where we live here in London, in Kent, obviously is away from London, from all the hustle and bustle of town. So I wanted something this quiet as well, and also I wanted to be able to get to the city, whatever, you know, in a very short time. Not back and forth, you know, because staying in Accra, I mean, the traffic in Accra is, oh my God,
horrendous.
Could be in the traffic for 2 hours or even more, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I wanted that. I also looked at the community. You know, I wanted a developing community as well, and then I would consider the primary schools, obviously for the kids, and hospitals as well, and supermarkets. And obviously I wanted to make sure that the place will have this kind of farm, what do you call the markets?
Open market.
Open market. These guys are buy straight from the farm. Obviously, not buy straight. They harvest from the farm and they sell on the market.
On the open market,
exactly. The open market. I wanted that because I wanted to go organic.
Yes, exactly. Not being too close to the concrete city that Accra is gradually turning into. Yeah. So I mean,
I wasn't even worried about security because, it's home. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Exactly. You know, we wanted a place that is, like you said, a bit like Essex or Kent, if you like, not really in the hustle and bustle city of London, but not so far away that you can get into the London or Accra in this instance if you needed to. So that was our criteria. So we started shopping around, and when you go into mekasa.com, whichever land you like, whichever area, you always have the contact details of the agent, right? You can call them, you can drop them a text on WhatsApp to begin to engage and ask questions about the land. Now, buying land in Ghana can be quite tricky, and has been quite tricky over the years, where there are quite a few litigation issues in the courts. Yes. And whilst building your home is a fantastic thing, you do need to be careful. You do need to make sure that you've done all the checks to make sure that the land you are buying is indeed a land that is being sold by the right person. Yeah,
that's very important. You need to make sure you know that, get that information straight away.
Exactly, and that is litigation free. Now, how do you do that? Initially, when you contact the agent, they will give you a piece of paperwork, and that is really the site plan, and the site plan typically, there's an example on your screen. It looks similar to what you're seeing right now. Ideally, you can ask for one that has been signed by a surveyor at the bottom. You don't always get that, but the first thing you want to do is contact the agent, ask for the site plan. Once you get the site plan, then attend site and do a site visit. You have to do a site visit. Please note that some agents, not all of them, some agents will ask for a token for that site visit. That's probably about 50 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, you can run away from that when you are in Africa, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, just look at it as a way of helping.
Yeah.
Rather than
like a tip. Like a tip.
Like a tip. Yeah.
I mean, let's put it in perspective. You know, if you know you're buying a land for a significant amount of money. This is 50 Ghana cedis just to arrange a site visit. That's really a £5, or in dollars maybe $7 or so. So it's not a huge amount of money. Now, when you attend site, after you attend site and you're interested, what you then need to do is to use the site plan that was given to you initially to do a lands commission search. Ghana Lands Commission. Again, you can see an image of it on your screen. Ghana Lands Commission. You can
find that online.
You find that online. Yeah, Ghana Lands Commission. You can do a quick search. It costs about 200 Ghana cedis, which is about call it £20 in round figures, to do a quick search, and they normally return in about 3 or 4 days. That will tell you whether the land has been sold already or not. It will give you the existing title. You can compare that to who is selling you the land to make sure that you know it's right or not. You can check if there's any litigation, anything happening in the courts over the land, and just to put you at peace. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a law background, so you know.
It's very important you do that, because if you don't do it the right way, you'll end up buying a property, investing all that money, and then it becomes a waste of time because the contract was founded on false grounds. So you actually have no case.
Exactly.
You see? So,
exactly. Yeah. And there are a few. You just need to be careful. You know, there are many genuine people out there, but also, just like in any country, even in the Western world, there are 1 or 2 dodgy characters there also. So you have to evaluate the situation yourself, which is just life in all over the world, really. Now, when you go to site, it's good to check if the land is suitable for you. You know, have a look. Is it waterlogged? Does the site match the paperwork or the advert that was put on the website? Is it a serviced plot? What I mean by serviced plot is, has it got electricity? That's right. Has it got electricity?
Water.
Has it got water?
Yeah.
Now, water is not too much of a big deal. A lot of land has water, but even if it doesn't have water, you can do a borehole.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the guys about the borehole? I mean, your family did a borehole for you when you were living in Africa back then. Can you how was your experience using a borehole?
I can't quite remember how it was done, honestly, but I know we did have a borehole, and I can't say much about that for sure, because I don't know how it was done. I can't remember.
Basically,
sorry, I think you get these machines to dig up the ground, and then water comes out of it.
Exactly.
I wasn't there. I didn't see.
Very young, too young at the time to really observe. But essentially, just as my wife says, that a borehole is simply a hole in the ground. It tends to go between 60 and 80 feet down in the ground. 80 feet is probably about 25 odd meters down in the ground until you get to the water table, and then there's a pump at the bottom of the hole, and that pumps up water, fresh water from the ground, which then goes through a filtration system, and you can put a reverse osmosis plant in it, and that what that does is, the RO plant it takes out the salt from the water. You don't want too much salty water, unless it will rust all your pipes and your cooking pots and the rest of it. So
sorry, basically you're saying that in Ghana you've got salty water.
In some areas, especially in the Accra and the suburbs around Accra, some areas there's salty water. So you need it's called an RO plant, reverse osmosis plant, and that takes the salt out of it. So the issue with the borehole is, yes, you pay a little bit upfront, a little capital expenditure to install it, but guess what? Your water supply will be never ending. It will be self-sustainable, and you will not have to rely on the authorities, or if you like, the Ghana equivalent of Thames Water for your water. It's just there for you.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea. So, Yeah, so exactly that, and that's what we. So service plus, you need electricity, your water. In terms of IT comms, depending on the area you're buying, you may have cables, comms cables around that you can have extended to your home. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world. There are a number of Wi-Fi services, a number of routers that you can buy from Vodafone and MTN and what have you to get internet service pretty much wherever you like. So that's great. That's great. So that's the second thing you need to look at. The third thing you need to look at in buying your land is really try to verify the actual owners from the authorities. When you are doing that land search, I talked about a quick land search, it will come back and you just check the names on the output from the Land Commission to make sure it matches who's selling it to you. Check the seller's reputation. Remember when we got our uncle to ask the locals around the area to ask who owns the land. You see, wherever you're buying the land, the locals know who owns the land.
That's true. In fact, we actually went on LinkedIn to check out the person's profile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did our own research as well.
Exactly, yeah. And this, as it happens, this turns out to be a guy who used to live in the UK himself, and he relocated to Ghana a few years ago and is doing pretty well. Doing pretty well.
And a young guy.
Young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really young guy. So ask the locals. The locals will give you an indication of who owns the land. In Ghana, typically, in most cases, the land you buy will be leasehold. The law changed in about 1992. Prior to 1992, there was a lot of freehold land available, but the law changed in 1992 where most of the land either belongs to families or the clan or the government, the state or chiefs, and most of the chieftaincy lands are leasehold. Okay, if you are a Ghanaian citizen, you can get a lease for 99 years typically, with an option to renew for 45 years. Yeah. So that's 99 years with an option to renew for 45 years.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a long time. Long time.
Yeah. Do you know when my husband said that, you know, when we got the contract, when we were investigating, we wanted to find out how, you know, we could get a property, a land in Ghana, and all that 100 years, 99
years for option for 45 years.
It was shocking for me because I hadn't seen anything like that before. Well, obviously people are different, cultures are different. Where I come from, I am of the Igbo tribe.
Yes.
Biafra,
Southeast Nigeria.
Yeah, southeastern Nigeria. I don't think that is the same. I mean, that's done the same as it is there, because in my family or in my culture, you own the land.
Yep.
You inherit the land. Like all the boys, if you're an Igbo guy, you will have a piece of land waiting for you. You just have to say, Dad, I'm ready, show me my portion, and they'll give it to you. So say for example, if my husband were from the Igbo land, we didn't need to buy the property. We just all we needed to do was tell his dad that he was ready to build his property, and just show him his own portion of land, and then you can build and commute to wherever you wanted to go to. So if, for example, you've inherited a piece of land from your dad, you could sell it to whomever you wish to, and it's freehold for that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if that hasn't changed at all, because as it is now, if I needed a piece of land, I could tell my brothers, because women from my place are not allowed to own a piece of land, because you've been married, you have to leave the land it stays in your father's house. So when you're married, you enjoy for your husband's property. However, if you have a chat with your brothers, they could, or your father, they could give you a piece of land to do whatever thing you want to do, but to do with it. But you don't sell it because you're a woman. It stays in your family. So that's the case. So I don't know if that can change.
Yeah.
It's our culture. But what I don't know is if you sell an inherited property, and when I mean property, chattel to somebody, whether it's a freehold or leasehold. But as long as I can remember, it's been freehold for a very long time, unless it changed like yesterday. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, I guess in the Igbo land, but that relates more to the outskirts, and let's say the village type areas, right?
Yes.
Of the Igbo area.
Yes, but like I'm Igbo, but I could go to Lagos and I could buy a piece of land. But I don't know if they do it on freehold now.
But the Lagos land will probably be leasehold, because that wouldn't be wouldn't belong to your family per se.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're different cultures, so I don't know. And
yes, in Lagos, you probably will be leasehold. I think but I guess when it comes to your family property, then it probably be freehold.
Yeah.
So back to the Ghanaian situation.
Okay.
Yes, which is great. Thanks for that. But back to the Ghanaian situation. So, if you are a Ghanaian citizen, you get 99 years on the lease with the option of renewal for 45 years. If you are an expatriate, so you can still buy land in Ghana, even if you're not Ghanaian.
So I need to understand something, Kingsley.
Yeah, go on.
So your dad is from Ghana. You're from Ghana,
Yes.
right? So you're saying that you can't inherit a piece of land from your dad?
Well, possibly you can, but possibly I haven't really looked into it, and
you should, you know.
I should look into it to get a free piece of land. I'll take you up on that. Yeah.
Because we are brothers from the history. I know that Ashanti and the Igbos,
very close.
They are
indeed.
brothers, and then the kind of the Ashantis migrated. So we basically should share the same culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Look into that. It may have some free piece of land somewhere that I don't know about. Yes, in the village somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I'll look into. So as I was saying, if you are an expatriate, then you can still buy land on leasehold for 50 years, which is pretty good. Now there is one thing to be careful of when it comes to, if you like, the indenture or the initial paperwork that describes the leasehold. There are some landowners out there who, let's say they bought the land from a chief or a developer or whatever, and they have their own 99-year lease, and then for whatever reason they decided to sell the land. So they're selling it on to somebody else, and some of them would like to sublease as well. So if you like,
that's a bit tricky.
It's a bit tricky. They want to continue having some financial benefits of a land, even though they've sold it. Yeah. Now that is entirely legal.
Yes, yeah. He said so. I'm like, really?
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. So it's entirely legal, but then obviously you need to understand the pros and cons of whether you want to be, the tenant of the tenant, or whether you want the landowner to absolutely, if you like, absorb all their ownership rights to the land and give it to you directly as leasehold, so that then you are the sole tenant who then is able to communicate directly or have that direct contractual relationship with the chief. Now, that was our preference.
Yeah.
Why do you want to buy a piece of land and be a subtenant to a tenant?
Yeah.
You want to buy a piece of land where you are the leaseholder with direct communication or contractual communication to the chief.
Yeah, because I was asking Kingsley, so after the 99 years, then what?
Well, after the 99... Yes, good question. After the 99 years, all you do is you negotiate for the extra 45 years. It's an option for renew 45 years. So it's not guaranteed. It needs a conversation to get you the extra 45 years. However, guys, it's not a big deal, It's not a big deal. People have been living in their houses for years and years. It's not, all you need to do is communicate and, give somebody a little gift, and then there you go.
So, after the 99 years, you should be able to, after the 19...
What?
Right.
My nose is itching.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. So after the 99 years, you should be able to renew your lease.
Yeah, option for renew, 45 years.
So what if, obviously then, I believe that by then we're all dead and gone.
99 years, possibly.
Yeah.
Who knows? I want to live for a long time, fit and healthy. Yehovah is changing the world. He may be allowing us to live like Noah. 150 odd years. Who knows? But anyway.
Until we get to that point.
Yeah.
Right. So then the kids are there, and the kids and their children.
Yes.
So the kids want to renew. Then what? And
yes.
they refuse to renew
for
the kids.
No.
Would that happen?
It shouldn't happen.
No, you're saying it shouldn't. That means it could.
Right. Let me explain. There's always a possibility, but it's a rare occurrence, because obviously as you are alive, you have a relationship with the chief. As the 99 years are approaching, you communicate for the extension. Obviously, your kids will also have matured. Like you said, your kids would reach the age of maturity, and so would the chief's kids, whoever has taken over. So our kids will be taking over us, and the chief's kids will be taking over them. So the kids will now begin to, negotiate as on that to continue that contract. So our kids will inherit our lease, and the chief's kids will inherit the chief's duties, and so will it continue.
Right.
Yes, go on. So go on.
Right. One more question.
Yeah.
Do you know of any case where the land was they refused to renew the land for the after the 99 years?
I don't personally know of any case, but I'm sure there are some out there. I don't personally know of any case.
So they bulldoze your house or what?
I've never heard of such a case. And when I was speaking to my uncle, who's a bit more experienced, he said that he's never heard of that happening, because it's always a case of communicating and giving that gift. And then
it's just kind of a mutual understanding. It's not communicate. It's not like written down in paper. But we understand that.
Well, it is written down in paper. Remember, it says the lease is 99 years with an option to renew for 45 years. So that option becomes exercise when you have the communication towards the end of the 99 years. So what you do is you don't wait for the 99 years to expire. You start the communication at, say, 90 years or 95 years to extend.
I get that bit. Thanks, I get that. What I'm trying to say is not written down in paper that they will allow you to continue staying on the property even after it's expired. Even if you have a communication, it's kind of an after you've had a communication, it's a kind of understanding that you keep staying there. Obviously, it's not communicated on paper. They leave it like
at the end of the 99 years, the extension will be communicated on paper. If let's say you are 97 years and you've communicated for an extension of the 45 years, that 45 years then gets put on paper.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I mean? So then, let's say you are at your 97th year. That means you now have 47 more years to go before that contract is over.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is more like okay, let me
perhaps
change it again. Maybe I'm not communicating it properly.
Yeah, go on.
It's more like a gentleman's understanding or agreement that you will still have your property after the 99 years. Obviously, you would have communicated via paper or whatever means, but expressly it's not stated that they will allow you to keep staying there. But because we haven't had any established case that anybody was not allowed to stay on. But it's like a gentleman's agreement. It's communicated. It's not written down expressly, but it's understood between both parties that you will continue to live there. Just sign the contract. But obviously the paper doesn't say you have to. It says it leaves an option there, but it's understood that even though it leaves an option there, we're not going to tell you to get out of the property.
Exactly. No.
That's what I'm trying. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. No, nobody's gonna, bulldoze your house or get you. I mean, even if you don't go to the chief at the end of the 99 years to negotiate this renewal, they tend to come around themselves and do surveys themselves to find out who lives there to get in towards the end of the 99-year period. So even if you don't make the move, they will make the move anyway to come to your house. And then you can have that communication.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they don't want you to go. It's
no, of course not.
It's an understanding that you'll stay there, but obviously it's already an established law. You just have to carry on with that. But I think I like it.
It's not cutthroat like some places. Yeah,
I like it because when foreigners, when I mean foreigners, I mean people. Past colonizers or present colonizers, it kind of regulates the abuse, on land and property, because with the way these Chinese and everybody's coming to Africa, if they buy a property, if it's a freehold, they grasp it. I mean, that's it, it's gone. Yeah. But with this renewal, it puts a kind of check.
Yeah, of course, yes.
On these foreign investors, so that we don't lose our land to foreigners, so that they can if they're not happy, Africa must belong to Africa. If they're not happy with
China
you,
Chinese,
they just tell you to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's good.
It's good.
I like it.
Yeah. So just carrying on the points that you need to consider are the steps in buying the land. Make sure you ask for full transfer of the ownership, if that's your preference. It certainly was ours. Once the contract is drawn up, you can ask for or try to get a lawyer to review the contract if you want, depending on your own professional background and your own confidence. I mean, we read ours and it was pretty much straightforward, and we're both professionals. My wife is, has a law background, so it was quite easy for us to review it. Before you buy the land, as usual, check the value of properties or the values of other plots of land in the neighboring areas, just to make sure you're not being ripped off. Obviously, you don't want to buy a plot of land that is far more expensive than any other surrounding lands. Neither do you want to buy a plot of land or plots of land that is significantly cheaper than any other land surrounding, because that means there's some warning signs, question mark, there must be something wrong with the land. Absolutely. So obviously in Ghana you always negotiate. Look around and then negotiate the price down.
And everything. Honestly, if you want to really enjoy Africa, so don't get put off by the first price they give you, even if you went shopping, food shopping or anything. Anything generally, if they tell you, say for example, it's £10, 10 Ghana cedis, you go like, what about 3 or 4?
Exactly.
So pay 6 or I'll pay 5.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's it, isn't it?
It's all good fun.
Yeah.
It's all good fun. But to be fair, when you look around, you get an idea of what the correct or what the going market value is, and then that will give you a steer when it comes to the negotiation, really. So once you've done all this and you're ready to make payment, just make sure all the correct documentation is in place. Obviously obtain what we did, we wrote a purchase and transfer agreement, which is endorsed by the seller and the buyer, and we had a witness there as well, and everything was signed, and then the money was paid. Bank transfer is ideal, or you can pay cash if you like, but obviously take the necessary precautions if you're going to do that. And then register the new ownership of the land in your name, or in whoever in a couple's name, or whoever name you're using. You've made payment, you got the receipt. Register the new ownership of your land at the Lands Commission. Then you're a landowner. Happy days. Oh yes, but you're a landowner. You're well on your way, but there are a few more things you need to do. After you've bought your land, you need to ideally put a boundary wall around it. Okay. In Ghana, we call it the fence. They call it fence wall, and all that means it tells people around that
it's been bought,
this land has been bought. Someone owns the land. It kind of prevents trespassers, so to speak, as well, from entering the land. And if you have the means to, you interact with the locals and see if you can get a caretaker who can regularly look after the land if you're not there yourself, and just take care of the land until you're ready to actually begin development. Now obviously when you begin developing the land, you're going to have builders on the land, or most days anyway, digging up the ground and putting the blocks together. Do you know what I mean? So that is really like a summary of the buying the land. Now before we end this session, we did our search and we went through a number of hurdles, but I just want to show a video that we received from one of the agents that we contacted of the land that we ended up purchasing. They sent us a video of the land as it existed before we bought it. So here it is coming across your screens. It's a virgin ground really, but it's a blessed ground. So a land of great substance. It's all virgin, and as you follow us on our journey on our channel and our videos to come, you will see how this land has changed over the past 4.5 to 5 months. And you can ask for a video of the land that you want to purchase as well at when you are at that early stage, so to speak. It's a good idea, isn't it? To see that piece of land there.
I felt so happy. So, oh my goodness, is this gonna be it? It's a blessed memory. I did love it.
Exactly. Well done. Well done to you as well. I just want to say that when we were buying our land, we got shown the video. We spoke to the landlord, went through all this process, and the landowner we were buying it from, he wanted to sublet it to us. So we had to go through a whole of the drama really to overcome that. And what we will do is we'll cover that in part 2 of buying our land, because we don't want to give you too much information in one video, because this is vital information that you need to understand properly. And we'll share all the drama with you and how we overcame and how we finally managed to purchase our land, on which we're going to put our design on it and to build. Fantastic, guys. Well, it's been great. Thanks for joining us once again. And what I'll say is, it's a wrap right now.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. And so from you, it's guys. Take care. All the best. Bye. See you next time.